I genuinely think this has been the best format we've had in Grand Archive so far. This whole Underland format, the Distorted Reflections, and then Phantom Monarchs. And with Radiant Origins around the corner, I just wanted to kind of take a step back, look back at what has occurred, the decks that topped, the strategies that proliferated, that kind of thing. And it's interesting, because when Distorted Reflections started, we were all wowed by Looking Glass, which no doubt shaped and morphed the format. And obviously we had the biggest offender, Eye of the Abyss, which kind of slotted into every single deck that possibly could play it. And it was kind of a piece that kind of buffed a lot of weaker decks. So Jin, for example, I remember I think Caben played Jin as one of the Ascents. And it was interesting, but at the same time, it wasn't very healthy, let's say. The Eye of the Abyss was a card designed to support the Spectre strategies. However, people were slotting it into every single deck they could play it in, which kind of homogenized the format, let's say, homogenized deck lists, which is a bit similar to what's happening right now with Unmake Duality a bit, but more on that later. The Abyss, alongside the Looking Glass, kind of revitalized the Crux decks, so Merlin and Lorraine, and they were really dominating the format. Water was nowhere to be seen at that point. I mean, everyone was playing Rise, so everyone was playing Fire, basically, and these kind of two decks kind of dominated the format for a while, until we had an upset where we had Vanitas show up and kind of disrupt the meta, because it's really punished level 3 decks, obviously, and it was a very smart, very creative creation, even though it was a bit diabolical, and I really dislike that deck. I think it was a very smart deck building strategy and idea behind it. But yes, eventually that was Distorted Reflections until we got Rise of the Abyss banned, and it kind of brought down the playing field a bit. It kind of gave rise to other decks. And additionally, we also had CL. We had CL and Diana. These were the new champions introduced in this set. So we had Aetherwing Diana and we had CL. CL for the longest time struggled. So people started to experiment with the water version a bit. It was a bit slow. It wasn't very consistent, very powerful. And then we had the fire version, which kind of was just mostly Oblation. And it was a deck that didn't really showcase CL's abilities. It was just like a kind of a cheese deck, I would say. Not to take away from anyone's win, of course, I understand. It's just that I don't like that. Honestly, I don't like that kind of deck, because it's kind of like just nullified the entire identity of CL just to play an Oblation, to advent it with Oblation, that kind of combo. So I wasn't the biggest fan of it. Thankfully, that changed with PTM, but yeah, for the longest time, that Oblation was the way to play CL. Aetherwing Diana had some success here and there, but it was only in PTM right now that it's really shown. And I want to take this chance to go to PTM. So what happened with PTM is, all of a sudden, water decks were back in the forefront, which was very surprising, to be honest, because not a lot had changed in the format. I think nothing drastically, water didn't really get any new toys, so to speak. So I was quite surprised. It's just that I guess it's just that water as an element needs to understand the meta first before it can integrate into it. So if there are a lot of things happening as is with DTR and PTM, obviously we had so many decks topping, so many different decks viable, conceivably viable. I mean, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, Tristan, Seryu, Ciel, Aetherwing Diana. We had some Ra here and there, a little bit of Ra here and there, Genbu, a little bit of Suzaku. And even if you just browse lists online, almost any deck could top, maybe even win. We also saw this resurgence of Fractals as well in PTM. In terms of a deck like Fractals, for example, the reason it saw a resurgence was mostly because of Unmake Duality. This kind of generic engine that was being slotted into kind of different decks, like Fractals. Even Nico was playing it. And speaking of Nico, we actually got the Proxia's Vault card, Sablemare, which allows us to generate Icebound Slam, which is, I like this design approach because it lets decks that certain cards were created for use them without being abused in a generic manner. Speaking of which, we actually got Mantle of the Abyss, which is a Proxia's Vault Regalia for Alice as well. Alice was the champion intended to use Rise of the Abyss, but obviously the card got abused. So Mantle of the Abyss was created to address that problem. Same thing with Sablemare, and I really like this design choice. I think it's a really healthy, very intuitive and healthy design choice for a game design choice that lets the developers kind of not take away cards from us, but kind of balance them or make sure they are in the right decks for them. Unfortunately, Alice, which was one of the new champions introduced in the set, so Chessman Alice and Umbra Alice, didn't really do anything. Umbra Alice especially is a big disappointment. I was really looking forward to this deck because I love the Gothic aesthetic. I love Grave Revival, Spectres, that kind of thing. Unfortunately, it was really, really bad. Alice Chessman, thankfully, is getting support in RDO. We're getting an ultimate, and we're even getting a spirit, which is really, really, really nice, because it'll let Chessmen play in a sense similar to Slimes, where their spirit lets them play all different basic elements of Chessmen. I know that's a bit different than Slime, but you get my point. Umbra Alice got an ultimate as well, but I mean, an ultimate is not going to save a champion. We need cards, we need better support, better quality. The strategy needs to come together. Like, Alice, all it does is just turn its wheels in its place. It just heals and heals and heals and does really nothing. It's really difficult, and even with a Serene Spirit, and even with the Lineage release for level 1, you will still die early on if you're going against a very aggressive deck. It's really unfortunate, and I really want support for this deck. I think it's really cool. But yeah, PTM didn't have as many explosive cards as DTR did. It mostly gave us, for example, Feu for CL, which finally allowed us to move away from the Oblation line and to play the Beguiling Crew, to play Feu, to play Green Pastiche. More of a well-rounded CL list that's not just focusing on one kind of kill combo. And we even had it win the latest Ascent Los Angeles. So yeah, PTM didn't create as many changes as DTR, but it was still a very interesting set. It had small, minute changes here and there that kind of shifted the meta into a more balanced form. Because as I said, DTR was mostly dominated by fire and wind, mostly fire. In PTM, we see a more well-rounded balance. We have water, wind, and fire vying for top place amongst each other. And I think it's been a really, really solid format. And I think it will be remembered as one of the best time periods in the history of Grand Archive, especially the metagame. And now with Radiant Order is upon us, I'm really looking forward to what's coming. I don't know what to expect yet. I mean, we have support spread out across the board over here. I would say, I think Arisana in particular got a lot of support cards, and that is a deck I'm really looking forward to, because now we can finally play potions in a more feasible manner instead of just focusing on the star calling and the astro side of things. Another thing to consider in RDO is that we're not really introducing any new champions except Mordred. So does that mean that the meta is going to be more of the same? Will the new cards shake up the meta? I think it's a bit too early to tell. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. One final note, I'm really excited about Pantheon. I love the Commander style format, and I think Pantheon is gonna really breathe new life into the game, bring casual into the game. You know, between tournaments, you can like catch a few games of Pantheon, you can go to Ascents now and play Pantheon. I think Pantheon is going to be a really big push for this game, and I really hope that it brings a lot more people into it. Because honestly, the game has been kind of hyper-competitive, which I wouldn't say has deterred people from playing this game, but it has been a bit of a deterrent, like a minor deterrent, because people are like struggling to catch up with the best decks. And because this game is very skill intensive, you can't just pick up any deck and like kind of do well. I mean, if you want to go safe and for a budget deck, you can always play obviously Wind Allies, stuff like that, just aggro, fire aggro Fiza, that kind of thing. But as the complexity of the game has kind of increased a bit, and the skill level required to do well in the game has increased, it has kind of made entering the game a bit difficult for newer players. And I think Pantheon is going to help close that gap, is going to introduce people to a more casual format. And if they gain interest into the game, they can play the standard format as well, play more competitively, compete for bigger prizes, etc. So yeah, that's it. I just wanted to have like a kind of a quick reflection on the few months that passed. It's been 6 months now, and it's been a really good period for the game. Hopefully RDO will give us something as good, if not better, but we'll have to see. Thank you for watching. As always, if you want to see more content from us, subscribing really helps. Liking the video pushes it across the algorithm. And let me know your thoughts below. I mean, it's been a great time for GA, and if you have any thoughts, any reflections on the format, feel free to chime in below. So yeah, that's it. See you in the next one.